All right, so part two. Things to keep in mind when dating a single parent. Um, as a man, I want to say if you date a single mom, you need to go into it being willing to be and ready to be a full fledged father. There is no half stepping, okay? And I want to explain this to you. Um, some men feel like, okay, if the dad is around and he gets them on the weekend, then I only need to do 40%, right? Or if he's paying child support, then that means that I only need to do 60%. No. Okay. Because what if something were to happen to that other parent? Then you would have to step up to 100%. So the mindset needs to be that you go in at 100%. You do the things that need to be done at 100%. And if that parent, that other parent is involved, then that decreases a little bit of the responsibility. But if they are not around or if something were to happen to them, you would have to step up 100% anyway. So the goal is to go in at 100%. And if, you have a good co-parent situation relationship with the person that you're dating, I didn't say that right at all. If the person that you're dating has a good co-parent relationship, then you do what needs to be done. But you can't go in at like thinking 40% is going to be enough. That's not how that works. And again, if that parent, something were to happen to them, you're going to have to step up to 100% anyway. So go in at 100. And if you get some discounts because that other parent is doing their job, then great. Otherwise, can't half step. Don't even date somebody if you're not willing to step in at 100%. Um, you need to be patient and considerate. I used to get bitchy ass men who would be like, why you can't call me at this? Bruh, I'm being a mother. Like, you need this much attention. You don't need to date me, okay? A lot of men who have kids already date women without kids because they can pay them all the attention they know they're not going to get from the mother of their child, number one, or another woman who has kids, right? These are the immature men because they want all the fucking attention, okay? They're used to being the center of attention. They probably ruined their relationship with the mother of their child because they were no longer the center of attention. And they're really needy. And these are not the kind of men that should date women with kids, okay? It's not attractive for somebody to bug you about how much attention you're giving them when you're giving them the most attention you can give them. And I know that that does not sound right to some people. And you probably exactly who I'm talking to. Um, I'm personally not free till after 11 to talk on the phone uninterrupted. I'm free during the day, but if you are working during the day, you're not going to be able to talk to me during the day. So I've had men bitch about that, and I'm still single. So it's important to just keep that in mind because I don't have time to babysit nobody's feelings. I have an emotional little creature that I'm raising into an emotional, mature adult, and that's a lot of work on me. What else? The conversation comes up about giving women babysitting money. I'm going to tell you my perspective on this. I personally do not expect somebody that I'm dating to give me money for a babysitter. I don't. That's my kid. It's my responsibility. If we're going to go out, I will find a sitter and go from there. But I'll say this, understand, I'm spending money to be there with you by getting a sitter. So don't think that you get any points because you're spending money on dinner. The other thing is I'm also sitting back to see if you'd be a good father because you're not just going to be a good boyfriend. I'm a grown woman. I don't have time for boys. Why? I'm trying to see if you're going to be a good father. So maybe not the first date, but maybe after the second date, if you offer, you get bonus points because at the end of the day, you're stepping into a situation that is a team effort. So if you can't say, here's $20 for a sitter, or, the first couple of dates were great and I want to see you again, how much you usually pay for a babysitter, I want to give you $20 or $30 for a sitter. Try that. If that's the night where maybe you spend a little less money and it's the Netflix and chill date, no, per hour, she's still paying a babysitter. And these young bitches want $15 an hour. No, the fuck. I don't pay nobody $15 an hour. You get about $10 an hour. But nonetheless, I'm paying somebody to watch my child. I don't have a big village, so a lot of women nowadays are paying for sitters to go out on dates. So it happens. What else to keep in mind? Her business with her baby daddy is not going to be your business off top. I've had somebody within the first 48 hours of talking ask me, is my child's father on child support? That was the last time we talked. Personally, I consider that the equivalent of asking somebody how much money do they make. Um, I don't know his reasoning for it, and I don't really care. I'm just saying it was really shocking and really rude. And personally, I think the question that you can ask reasonably is, are you happy with the co-parenting situation that you have? That's it. That's all you can ask. I always tell people when they date to ask, are you happy with your job? If you're happy, great. It doesn't matter how much money you make. That's not why I'm dating you. Are you happy with your job? If the answer is yes, then great. If the answer is no, then, that can be a problem because a lot of people want to date these corporate dudes with nice cars, but corporate dude with nice car is stressed out, mad as hell all the time, taking cocaine just to keep it kicking, and it's a fucking psycho. But I'll date a happy shit shoveler. Like, if you come home, you just take your shitty boots off at the door, but you come home in a good mood, that's what I would want. So, it's important to just not be rude when you try to inquire about certain things. To be honest, if she's comfortable with you over time, she's going to divulge anyway, right? But personally, I have found that I am not one to divulge a lot of the information that goes on between me and the father of my child, until I know you, because we both have very um, interesting lives. I'll put it like that. So I'm not about to tell you my business with him, because once you know who he is, then you shouldn't know all his business either. So I have to still be protective of my family. And this is my last point. I had a ex who had 2 kids, and he would refer to his kids and his baby mama as his family. And I would get super offended. This was back when I didn't have kids. Like, that's not your family. You didn't marry her. But now that I have a child, I'll be honest, me, my daughter, and her dad will always be a family. Will always be a family to her. And it was not anything that I understood when I didn't have a kid, but it was something that I understand now that I do. It's not to say that the position is not open for husband. It's not to say the position would not be held high for husband and father, okay? But there is a family unit that existed before you came along, and you have to respect it. The other thing is that there are a lot of calls that will have to be made that may not include you, and you have to be comfortable with that, because even though that is, or if you get married, partially your child, it's still not actually your child, in a sense that they have to figure out what's best for that child between the two of them. Now, if they collectively include you and say, well, what does your husband think, or how are we all going to handle this, then that's one thing. But if that's not biologically your child, you have to take a deep breath and step back and keep your mouth closed, and see if they ever ask you for advice, or if they ever include you in advice, and go from there. It's very odd to not have a say, especially when you have a say in so many other things. But sometimes there is a part of raising that child that you're just going to have to stay out of. Excuse me. And I know that can be very odd for someone who doesn't have kids to understand. This is between me and this person, and you're here. Yes, you're a full-time parent. Yes, this is still something we have to work out. I know you might not like it or understand it, but it is. So if that's not a position that you're comfortable with either, dating someone that has kids may not be for you. So that's all I got for right now. That's all I can think about for right now. If you want to date someone that has kids, I think that one plus to it is you can see the type of parent that they are. And that's something that a lot of people get surprised about when they get married to somebody and they find out that person is a horrible parent. So just some things to keep in mind, guys. It's not all bad. There are some great single moms out there. So just a thought, just some thoughts, my thoughts. Have a great one.